Today, um, I want to encourage you. Oftentimes, we go through these different seasons of life and it feels new to us. It feels like something different is happening in the atmosphere, something strange is happening. But the truth is that there's nothing new under the sun, right? All of these things have happened before. They are just new to us in our particular generation or in the particular season of life. But all things already are, have been, will be, and that's because God is always, right? Well, what we're going through in this season is a season of extreme shifts, heavy ones, quick ones. I believe this was prophesied. God prophesied this through me maybe a couple of years ago, if not recently, over and over and over again. But this particular shift is like so many different things happening in our atmosphere, on this earth plane. But nothing happens on this earth plane without it happening in other parts of the cosmos, because all things work together. And we have to begin to really understand what that means. We're looking at this from our different individual experiences and the things that we're dealing with and going through in life, and we're like, oh, all things work together for my good, because we're trying to make sense of the hardship that we're going through. And I understand that, but we have to get to the place where we understand that this is bigger than just our circumstances. We see the seasons change on the earth, right? Summer, winter, spring, fall, because life is happening. But it's happening not just here, but out there in the places that we can't even begin to fathom. There are things and names of things that we have not yet discovered, because life is full of everything that it needs for us to continue to explore over and over and over again. God is literally insurmountable. There's just so much to discover. But all things work together for good. All things. Even the things that we don't understand. So your opposition, circumstances that you're going through, the pains in your body, a lot of the different things that you may be going through and dealing with in this life, there's something to it. If you are aching in your body, you're going through, my friend, Apostle Charles Jerome Francis II, he said today on his on Grits and Glory, he talked about depression, and depression is an indicator that something is going on and it needs to be dealt with. So even the things that we consider to be awful, things that we consider to be strenuous, pressing, oppressing, right? All of those things even have a place and a purpose. It's an indicator, an alarm. He blessed me today with that message. But it's an indicator, an alarm that something is happening. It needs to be addressed. We can't dread the pain all the time or the things that we go through, because God knew that we needed something to say, hey, check this. You have pains in your body, something is happening unbeknownst to you, and the pain indicates that something needs to be shifted. So all things work together for good. I received a message today from a young lady who had disconnected from me based on something with a friend. And I read the message and was like, really, it was so much of a peck on the cheek from God, because I understand that people are broken and that we're all trying to heal through things, and that we connect to certain things so that we can feel safe and secure, and we have loyalties to certain things, and but the outcome of that is somebody being hurt, right? I'm not as hurt as I used to be by certain things, because I understand that that's what comes along with love. You know, it embraces all things. So it is likely to have a little hurt feelings along the way. But the message in and of itself was an indicator for me, right? To not be moved by what happens in a moment or a season, because things always come back around full circle. So why am I saying all of this to you today? Because you think that what you're going through right now is the end all be all of life, and that you're not going to make it, and that it's too much happening, and this is too overwhelming, and and oh my goodness, this thing right here is too much. And of course, we have those that are like, hey, the end is coming, and I want the end to come because this is too much. Listen to me. Please hear me. Or hear my eyelashes bat, or whatever you're going to hear. But open your ears. Life is meant to be lived, and lived more abundantly, with peace that surpasses our understanding. Again, my brother echoed that. Well, I'm echoing what he said this morning. But this is life, and it's meant to be lived, and it's meant to be enjoyed, and the pleasures evermore, all that stuff, everything that God has ever expressed into existence is intended, and it's supposed to be good. If you walk around dreading everything about life, and if you think that every bit of overwhelm is supposed to take you out, what happened to rejoice? In all situations, rejoice. And again, I say, rejoice, right? We have got to make this life different. How? By renewing our mind, being transformed, allowing the heart to be healed and the mind to be flipped, so that we can live this life together, unified in peace. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God, right? If we know not love, we know not God. We got to change the narrative. And if we love everything that God is, and we give God all glory, then we will in turn begin to live in a way that that liberates, not controls, not enslaves, not oppresses, any of those things, but a life lived in total faith through love, full of grace, full of charity, because to bear the burdens of one another is to fulfill the law of Christ, but to live in perfect harmony and peace. It's not as far-fetched as we think it is. The hard part is us choosing whether we want to live in it, embrace it, or not. I love y'all so much just because I can, and I know that these shifts are really messing with some of us, because it's causing you to have to re-examine, unlearn some stuff. But that's life. Things must die in order for some things to live. So anywho, I want y'all to join me today. Today is the 13th of October, 2024. I will be live on YouTube on the Love Walk Outreach Global page at 4:21 p.m. We're going to talk a little bit more about this life and death thing. I started this last week, Sunday, but I want to dig into it a little bit more in a very relatable way, so that you can begin to understand that some things just gotta go in order for you to wake up anew, resurrected, and ready to live as a new creature. You just show up today, you guys, and be with me. So we will flow, we will teach, we will prophesy, we will coach, we will do whatever it is that needs to be done in order for you to get this in your mind and your heart. Life is worth living. All right, it's worth living, and living more abundantly. So let's get into it. I love you just because I can, and I'll talk to you soon.